Kevin.
Wow. What?
You get this only nowhere else but you. Kevin is after that. Kevin, I'm not gonna lie.
Now look at this. A carved penguin. There it is.
Oh no. Are the O's fine? Are the Orioles fine, Kevin?
I think I'm so embarrassed.
Okay. The Orioles stole it. That game was stolen. It was stolen from them, then they stole it right back.
What?
Oh my God.
Wait, what's going on? What is happening?
What is going? Was it a diving play? He bobbled the play.
What is happening? Are they challenging it? No. Other wall. No.
Kevin, I don't know what you saw, how much you saw. I've been chugging champagne. Sure, I spilled a lot, but what a game, man.
He will be the legendary
Birdfish.
How about that?
Birdfish fans, stand up. We did it.
What can I say? What can I say?
Back in the win column, and let's get right into it. Joining me on screen, we got my co-host Kevin Ostriker. Kevin, a win, a weird win, 2 delays. Charlie Morton with the weirdest 5-inning shutout. Kevin, if they would have called the game, it would have been the first ever 5-inning shutout with 10+ Ks in the history of Major League Baseball. Weird night in baseball. Weird night for the Orioles. But Kevin, how we feeling?
How am I feeling? I mean, the Orioles, I'm feeling great. Me personally, I got a raging headache. So
don't you love it?
Yeah, we still show up. Definitely, I guess, going to be a shorter show. We discussed that beforehand. It's late. I'm not feeling good.
Yeah, you have
to be up early. So
go keep it shorter tonight. But
yeah, I'm glad we can do that after a win instead of just kind of sitting through another loss and talking about that. So
yeah, Kevin. I mean, if we would have sat here, and I mean, listen, Charlie Morton, 5 innings, shutout, ball, 10 strikeouts, but I mean, 5 hits, one walk. He made it interesting. Like it felt like a Charlie Morton start for majority of it, but he found ways to get outs. I mean, 10 strikeouts in 5 innings. Hey, maybe Charlie does have it after all. You know, Kevin, I was checking my phone. I wasn't able to watch on TV at first. I checked my phone. I see through 3 innings, Charlie Morton has like 8 strikeouts and is throwing a shutout. And I was like, this has to be a miss. I was like, is that like 8 hits? 8. I was like 8 Ks through. Gotta give him credit. And then the offense, flip it over. 6 hits. Ryan O'Hearn, turn and burn, home run, 2 solo shots. O'Hearn and Laureano, the stars of tonight. They got it done. Bullpen's incredible as always recently. Just an all around, it was a good win, and it feels good. Listen, if we were going to sit through 2 of those hour-plus delays to sit here and talk about a loss, I would be in a lot worse mood, Kevin.
Yeah, man, what a ode to the 2024 second half Orioles with 2 solo shots. is their only runs of the game. Just a touching tribute, I'll say there. But gets the job done. Most unexpected Charlie Morton stat line, maybe of his career, honestly. And Charlie's had a great career, but like
apparently Charlie, I found this out the other day. Charlie Morton is sixth all time or sixth most active wins in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, like he has had a really, really, really good career. But obviously when you get up to where Charlie Morton is in the age department, Father Time is undefeated. It's the saying. So he starts off slow. And plus, Charlie didn't throw a ton of spring training. So I guess if you want to classify the early season settle-in process, you can, although it doesn't necessarily excuse what happened on the mound for him. Yeah. But at least he's pitching better now. And you win the game against the righty. You now have two lefties coming up. So the Orioles are the worst. I think actually Jacob Kaltenmeyer updated his stat that I read out. Did you see that, Zach? Did you see what?
No, what is the what's the
I'm going to find it. But so the original one was it against lefties. The Orioles were the worst team in MLB history since like the 70s or the 60s. That has now changed, I think, to like the 40s or the 30s. Now it's going to bother me because I know he tweeted it. I know he did it. I know he tweeted it. I know he did it. Here's the manhole covers. Sagano got a really cool one. It has to be after the Scooble game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, here we go. Worst teams, reverse left-handed pitchers in MLB history since 1901. Oh, you found it?
No, I do remember seeing this, but yeah, read it.
Yeah. So since 1901, not even the 40s or 30s, 1901. 2025 Orioles, your 2025 Orioles, number one worst team in MLB history. First left-handed pitcher with a 5.53 OPS. Number two, the 1963 Colt 45s.
All right.
0.565. 71 Brewers at 3 at 0.574. 72 Rangers at 4 with 577. 72 Cleveland at 5 at 580. Then you have the 68 Dodgers at 6, 583. And the 1958 Senators at number 7 with 594. So not great.
Not great. Not great at all. Yeah, I genuinely don't know why you wouldn't just throw lefties out against us.
Put me out there. I'm a lefty.
Like it throws them off. Like they genuinely.
Are the Rays not going to throw a lefty in one of these games? Can I sign with the Rays and try to?
If I'm the Rays, I'm just finding 3 lefties that just throw 3 left-handed people that can throw a baseball.
Is Zach Showalter a lefty?
No, he's ready.
That would have been
horrendous. But Kevin, speaking of pitchers, obviously going to the Orioles pitcher, Charlie Morton tonight hit 96.8.
It's been going up for him.
Or let me make sure of this. What was tonight's? I just had this. What was his highest tonight? Charlie Morton, 96.8. Charlie Morton hit 97.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Okay. All right. I mean, if he wants to prove he's still got it, go do it. I mean, so I'll give it to him. I did not see that coming. I saw that go up on the little velo, and I was like, that's a misprint. Like I was like, because it was saying like Charlie Morton 97. I was like,
I can't wait for the Charlie Morton 101 fastball next start.
Just keep hitting that drive line. Throw the ball.
Yeah.
The wall.
Good for Charlie. Good for Charlie. And again, like you are going to have your bad Charlie Morton outings. Like, do I think that he should still be a starter? I think moving him to the bullpen is probably your best course of action still. He's been a lot better as a starter, and I want to give him his credit for doing that. But I think, bullpen is probably the best long-term option for him, where at this point, like he's done enough to where I don't need to see him like DFA tomorrow. Like I don't need to see that happen, but I still think a happy medium for him. Don't want to overwork. And I think that in short spurts, Charlie is good the majority of the time Whereas a starter, you kind of run that risk of, is he going to be magnificent or is he going to just be horrendous? So I think him in the bullpen as a long man, or even just an opener guy, you throw him for 2 innings, 2 1/3. Like, I think the Orioles can get creative with Charlie. And by the way, this is the first time I think I've ever seen you not wear a White Star hat.
Kevin, I've worn this hat multiple times on this show. Not recently.
Yeah, not.
I literally
can't remember.
I found it in the trunk of my car and was like, "Oh shit, I'm putting this back on."
It's a good hat.
Thank you. Thanks, Kevin. I like. And I know it's.
I still haven't gotten my White Star sales hat, by the way.
It's coming. It's coming. Kevin.
Yeah. Okay.
Eventually, it's coming. Eventually, it's coming. But Kevin, you never. Is Charlie Morton Cy Young candidacy back on?
Okay. Okay.
But in all seriousness, I saw Jake Luke put something out on Twitter, and I couldn't agree with him more. That rain delay might have come in the perfect spot, like been the biggest blessing to the Orioles and Charlie Morton specifically, because how many times has Charlie Morton gone out and given you 4 or 5 solid innings, and then suddenly you look up in the 6th inning and you're like, oh my God, they scored 5 runs. Yeah. Like maybe this was good. Maybe it was like, hey, confidence, 5 shutout innings, 10 strikeouts, boom, night's over. See you next time. Hit the showers, rain delay, let's go win it. Maybe that's something good. Maybe that genuinely, it's a moral victory type thing, but even though they did win tonight. But I think that could be, maybe that was the perfect time of like, hey, you're not, because it started getting close. That's like all it is. Like that 5th inning, 1st and 2nd, no outs. It started to look like it could unravel. Like it was definitely like the signs of, hey, like shit could hit the fan fast. They were there. They were popping up.
It was a win-win because the Orioles would have literally just won the game if they decided to call it. So, it is what it is if that happens, but it also gets you out of what was going on. So it was either way, the Orioles, I mean, obviously, if they called the game after that 5th inning rain delay, then they win the game right there. But
I wanted it so bad. I was like, it was a 5-inning win. Let's do it.
Okay, save the bullpen. Have everybody on short rest or a good rest.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, speaking of the bullpen, Walter, appreciate you. In the month of June, the bullpen has 36.2 innings pitched with a full 0.49 ERA and a 0.70 WHIP. List of runs they've given up is a solo home run by Soto on June 1st, a solo home run by Baker on June 8th. Bullpen. Wow. And Kevin, I think this is so funny. There was that like weird stretch in the offseason where like the entire offseason we talked about with Bautista getting back, you get Kittredge, all that. Like the bullpen should be the strength of this team, especially the strength of the pitching rotation. And I feel like people randomly for like 2 weeks in May tried to make out that the bullpen was like always an issue. Like the bullpen was supposed to be the like just get your starters to get to Cano, Sir Anthony, Soto, at the time CNL, now Kittredge, and then give it to Felix coming back. So bullpen's been unbelievable. And I mean, they've got the guys. I'm not surprised by the bullpen being good at all. I think they should. The only guy that genuinely in the bullpen that I can say hand up I did not see having the year he's having is Brian Baker. The other guys I feel like have been pretty like Felix took time to get there, but you knew that was going to happen. Yenier Cano is Yenier Cano. He looks lights out sometimes, and then he always has a mental lapse where he struggles for a few games. Sir Anthony Dominguez has been, he is who he thought he was. Lights out or god-awful. Same with Soto. Like, so it's not like necessarily anyone is like taken over as a massive overplay. It's just really Baker. So I'm not surprised the bullpen's doing this.
But you want to know one of the big reasons why? These starters are going deeper into games. It's the big reason to me. Like, you mentioned all those reasons. The big one that I pick out is the starters going deep into games. That's the one that I continuously say, I continue to harp on, where you're not overworking your guys and it's allowing them to come through in the big moments. Like this, it's a really big deal when, you don't have to every, like, I don't know, 3 games have a starter go 2 1/3, 4 innings, 3 2/3, and have to consistently use your bullpen like that. So, yeah, I mean, everything you said there, like 100%. Yeah. But I think the big thing that I take away from it is the starters are going 7. They're going 6. Even though Charlie, well, he went 5 1/3, right? That's what he had. 5. He just went with 5. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. But even still, it's better. Like 5 was my minimum, and I'll stick to that, right? I said 5 is my absolute minimum, to where I'm like, okay, hey, that's an acceptable amount of length to go to get your bullpen in a good spot. You have Dean go 7 last night. Like, it is so much better than it was. And yes, they still got overworked a ton in the beginning of the season. I hope that doesn't come back to bite them later in the year. But it's almost offsetting that they're being almost underworked at this point, because their starters are going deeper into games, which is huge.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, is it all does go together. They are hand in hand, the way that the starters and not even how the starters perform, but hell, how the starters are, the leash they're given. Like, Brandon Hyde, it felt like guy, it's the 5th, 6th inning. Guy gives up a leadoff single, go to the bullpen. Manzolino, it feels much more, hey, let's see if he can get out of this. Let's let him get 2 or 3 extra outs. And you do that, you get 2 extra outs from your starters a night. Over time, you take 2 outs less off your bullpen every single night. I mean, Kevin, I've started doing the bullpen rest sheets again. This bullpen's been rested for there. It does not surprise me how dominant they've been in June, because they've been well rested the entire time. Like, the starters are going deep. And then in the games that the bullpen has had to step in, they're so rested. And guys like Scott Blewett, have come in and just been great in long, spurts. So, the bullpen's been very solid. And then Walter also had to get to this. Appreciate you. I agree with this. If we beat 2 lefties in a row, Kevin needs to eat 1 mini marshmallow for every $1 I've sent in the super chat this year. And then we appreciate you. Appreciate everyone tuning in. This is Kevin and Zach React, your post-game destination. I like how you say that, Kevin. Post-game destination.
Thank you. Actually, this is a good question, Joe. I'm going to check in on our old friend CNO Press, see how he's doing down in Norfolk. If he's did. Do you want, while I check on that, Zach? Do you want to put the call link in?
Yeah. Like we said,
let's check in on our old friend CNO Perez. Did anything happen with Bowman? Did he just get outrighted?
That is a great.
Was there any? I never saw anything come across.
I'll look at Bowman real fast. You look at.
Yeah.
No, he was to AAA. Wait, no.
Did no one claim him?
Matt Bowman stays in organization. Yeah, he was outright to AAA on Tuesday.
It's big.
Bowman.
It does not. All right. I'm trying to see its game log. Okay, he has debuted. He has played in 3 games. Or he's pitched in 3 games. He has a 5.4 ERA in AAA.
Okay, also, Kevin, we do have to talk about this before we get into Collins. I got to give it to him. The guy knows how to stick to a bit. Tyler O'Neill being scratched and not playing in his rehab assignments because he has a sore shoulder is the most Tyler O'Neill.
Hey, you know what? If there's one thing we know for certain, it's that Tyler O'Neill
he's going to be dealing with this. He's going to be dealing with
a Baltimore Oriole in 2026.
Yeah.
You want to pop over on a? Is there a bet on a site for you to say Tyler O'Neill pick up his
$16 million player option? Tyler O'Neill that steals $16 million.
Put my life savings on him picking up that player option.
Kevin, we need him to get healthy and come back to the Orioles. And
I'd honestly consider buying it out.
I'm saying we got to hope he comes back in the next 2 weeks and just goes on one of his Tyler O'Neill 10 home runs in 15 games get that trade value. Someone's got to take it.
If that happens, then they'll probably win games, and then he'll probably stay, and then he'll probably then he'll go probably after that. But I would seriously consider just buying him out. Like, I would just give him the money and say, get out of here. Like, I don't know what you do with him. Like, where do you play him when everybody's healthy?
You don't.
You don't. You don't. So I just consider buying him out.
It's so funny. The two biggest signings of the offseason, money-wise, for the offense are both rehabbing in AAA, and people are just more concerned about them coming back than excited. Like, people are like, shit, Gary Sanchez is coming back. Like, we got to deal with that. Tyler O'Neill's coming back.
Do you remember that night when I was in DC and you were...
I was in Columbus. I was at the zoo.
I was at the Nuggets game with the Wizards, and they lost because Jordan Poole had like a bajillion points, and that was like the Wizards' like 4th win on the season. And Jokic had almost 60, and they lost.
Was that the 60-20-20 game? No.
No. That was when we were in Florida. That happened when we were in Florida.
That did happen when we were in Florida.
That was the night before my flight. My flight was at like 8 a.m. and I stayed up until like 2 to watch him.
Yeah, because me and you stayed up to watch it because we were like,
yeah.
what the hell is
and we
going
did not
on?
watch it together, by the way. We watched it in separate rooms. So
yeah, we did.
I think that game was the day before spring training, because the last night I was in Florida, we watched like reruns of the World Series. Remember that? We just
it wasn't even the World Series. We watched reruns of
it was both. It was World Series and the Lakers and whoever in the finals or whatever.
We also were in the bar. Remember the first night we got there and we after dinner we ended up at that bar, and me and you were just exhausted, tired, just sitting literally staring at a rerun of like a 2019 Buccaneers game.
Yeah, Doug Martin, master.
Yeah. Absolutely electric. Let's get into start up our columns. We got Joey up first. Joey, what's up?
What's going on, Joey?
What's going on, guys? Kevin, you mentioned that Wizards game versus the Nuggets. I was at that game too.
Were you actually?
I was there.
Well, you're a Wizards fan, I assume.
Absolutely, man.
Okay, well then you had more fun than I did.
Dude, I was there. I mean, you remember the MVP chants that did you say for the whole game? You remember the MVP?
Yeah, I was there
on?
for the whole game. Oh yeah.
Dude, I got the MVP chants going. I was up there in the bleeds and MVP to pull. But dude, for the Orioles, hey man, what else can you ask for? Like old man Charlie coming in, shoving, like Zach said, 96, 96.8.
Yeah.
Curveball looked filthy. Outfield, Laureano doing what he does best. The guy that I said, hey, he should get cut. No more disrespect.
Hey, we love owning our takes. Zach and I do it literally. We have a bad take every day, so it you gotta love it.
I've never had a bad take.
I said he should get replaced with Dylan Carlson, and to my credit,
okay,
Carlson,
all right.
Yeah,
you know what?
It's not the end of the world, right?
That saves it. Okay, not a bad take anymore. Not a bad take anymore. I'd say a medium-sized take. So
yeah,
medium size.
Production with production. Production with production. I'm not upset about that take, actually.
I think that's the only thing the O's are missing. I love Colton Cowser, but like if he takes that next step into the realm of Cody Bellinger or Kyle Tucker. Mm-hmm. That's like the thing that the O's are missing, because the infield pieces are there, but it's like they need this one quintessential player in the outfield to bring a little bit more juice to the offense, and then they could start stringing together these wins.
Yeah. Then the offense needs it. Go ahead, Kevin. I know you have.
No, I was just saying, I think that Cowser has the ability to bring the juice, but he'll need more time. And I mean, I honestly hope he's okay, because that collision those walls don't forgive you.
I hate to be that guy. I need Colton Cowser to stop giving 150% on every play. Like Colton Cowser is like, I will die to catch this baseball to help this team win. And you're like, dude, it is a Tuesday in June.
And
Like,
it's a
we
solo
do not
shot.
need to. Third game of the year, Colton Cowser. I will literally put my body on the line to try to beat this ground ball out. Like, I love the energy, but we don't need that already.
Yeah, like why are you trying to rob a solo shot? And what was it? Like the third inning?
The worst part is if he doesn't go a million miles into that wall and he kind of just like knew where the wall was, he probably stands there and catches it.
I think he gets it. Yeah.
You thought he would catch it? I don't know, man. It was tough. I mean, it was up there. Like it was a tough
It would have
play.
been a great catch, but I think he had
it's just the wall stopped. Like, he was on the right track. He just misplayed where the wall was by like 5 feet.
I don't know if he's a better fielder than Said. Maybe Said would have got it. You know what I mean?
I think Said he would have got it.
Said probably would have. And I think I'm going to be honest. I think
put up an effort.
Cowser. That was his first time
boys.
playing. Yeah, I mean, Cowser in center field and Oriole Park hasn't been there in God how long. So I think he honestly did not know where the wall was. Like, I think he genuinely, that was him not knowing where that wall was.
Yeah, I mean, you're not running that quickly into it if you know where it is. You're getting smacked at that. So yeah, craziness.
Big plans for the outfield coming up on the deadline and into next season. I think that'll be the X factor for this team, whether or not they're gonna compete or not. Will be who steps up in those positions.
Yeah, some pitchers will be important, obviously, but you're right. Infielders, you're set. You don't need to make any adjustments there. You just get that one. I don't even know. Do you have like a name off the top of your head, Joey? I don't have a name off the top of my head that I feel like could maybe fill in on that juice
for the
spot.
juice.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think right now.
Dude, the only thing would be like literally Juan Soto. I know that they're not getting him. They're not getting him. But you know, so Colton Cowser, Heston Kjerstad, what do you need? You need a guy who can just hit 20, 25 homers, hit for 250. Like, you just need more balance. If they have that balance, so if they had 3 Colton Cowsers, you'd be like, holy crap, you know what I mean? But I just feel like they have a lot of niche guys, like streaky niche guys. And I mean, Santander was the juice. You know what I mean? Santander was the guy late in games throughout the season who was putting together RBIs, putting together home runs. Like, you tried to replace that with O'Neill, and look what's happened, right? Like, just the stereotypical season for him. It's not that he's a bad player. It's just that all the negatives that come with Tyler O'Neill have come to fruition. And that's probably, honestly, I think that's, like you said, Kevin, the infield set. So it's like, come on, like, let's figure this out. Like, is Cedric Mullins the future? Who knows? Like, are any of these guys the future?
Yeah, we don't really know. No one's signed to an extension. We don't know who's going to be on the team next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. You know, even at the deadline, like, what are they going to do at the deadline? Who's going to be gone? Are they going to be sellers? Are they going to somehow turn it around to be buyers? Like, so many crazy scenarios can happen here.
Ryan and Kevin and Zach were talking on the show about all the sells and stuff, and it just seems like the writing's on the wall with O'Hearn and Mullins. Like, what are I don't know. We're at a bottleneck. We're at a turning point of this franchise, and I'm kind of scared, to be honest with you. I'm scared of what's going to happen in the summer. Like, it's not. I'm not optimistic until we get to the off season. You know what I mean? Until we see how the season plays out.
Yeah, I think once we get past the deadline and there's a clearer picture of which guys they'll need to re-sign and which guys they decided to move off of, it'll give us a bit of a clearer picture. But then you kind of have to think not just about that, but okay, try to go get that stud pitcher, outfielders like we're talking about, get that one guy. And look, ideally it maybe would be a guy like Heston, right? Like you said, or I saw someone bring up Dylan Beavers in the chat. Like, ideally you get it from inside the organization, but sometimes you just have to go out and get somebody. And, you know, we've mentioned that Laureano does have a player option. At this point, I'd probably pick that up. It's about what?
Just to be be the fourth outfielder, be the guy that he was supposed to be this year, not the starter. Like we've seen him, obviously he's going to perform better when he's given more opportunities more consistently like this year. But yeah, I would pick up the option on Laureano to be the Austin Slater role, be the guy that comes in to be the right-handed bat off the bench in the outfield. I think that's where he's going to be. I
And
think 6.5 is worth it.
The defense is impeccable. Some of
Yeah.
the highest outs against average for right fielders or wherever he played, right field, left field. He can play right field and left field. So you're right. He's the prototypical platoon bat with the Orioles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But awesome, Joey. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Yep. Have
Love
a
to
good
hear
rest of
from
the show,
you.
guys.
Yep,
Good night.
appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, Joey.
All right.
Kevin, can I start an agenda?
What is your agenda?
Got a controversial open here.
Bring back Tony? Are you saying to bring
No.
back?
Was this just 2 bad contracts?
That's not controversial at all. What are you talking
about? I'm talking about, everyone's like, oh, they needed to bring back did they? No, it was such a downgrade. Everyone's like, it was such a downgrade. Was it? Two guys have been injured.
I said that it was a slight downgrade. If both worked out, it was a slight downgrade. I think O'Neill was better for what they needed at the time, but Tony was the unquestioned leader of that clubhouse, and it's hard to lose a leader in the clubhouse. But
no, I get that.
But we knew that he was going to get overpaid by someone. We knew that the Orioles were not going to match what he got. And I mean, when he signed that deal, I didn't think it was a good contract. I mean,
that was a lot.
And I didn't think O'Neill's contract was I didn't really understand. I mean, I understood the principle of a guy that mashes lefties, but he was like their only option, and we knew he got injured and was very injury prone. So I didn't love that signing either. So
but he hits home runs on opening day, Kevin. But he hits home runs on opening day.
God, the Orioles
let's keep our call-in train rolling. We got Breaking Glenjamin behind the scenes. What is up, my man?
Hey, what's going on,
man?
How's
it going tonight, guys?
Doing all right.
Well. Nice little Orioles win.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good game.
Were you at the park tonight? You said you were going to be there for the fireworks.
Yeah, I was. I stayed for the whole thing. I stayed through the rain delays.
Oh, let's go!
That was so much fun. It's so much fun hanging out in the rain delays and just goofing off and everything.
Yeah, rain delays are fun. I've been through a lot of rain delays where it's an hour plus. After a little bit, it goes from the first part when they're first we're delaying the game. Everyone's like, oh, God, okay. But then it hits a part where, some people have left and you're just kind of like, you know what? We're here to watch some baseball. We're going to play eventually. It's just stuff going on. I enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. It was a good vibe at the park tonight. This game felt like I'd never worried about the game. I just had a feeling we were going to win. It's like the Orioles didn't really, they could have scored more runs and stuff like that, but it just seems like they didn't really make mistakes, or they didn't really do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that was enough. And it kind of reminds me of a little bit of the 2012 team and how they used to win those close games and everything back then. So it was a good night. Got to go to the game with my dad. We stayed for the fireworks.
Oh, nice.
I love how the stadium looks when they turn off pretty much all the lights, except the club level is still lit up.
Yeah.
And those fireworks, they're not bad. They're major league fireworks. And they're better than the Bay Sox fireworks.
They have those things pumping out. Yeah. If you had told me that, and I felt the same way as you, if you had told me that I'd be feeling that good throughout a game when Charlie Morton is starting back in April or May, I would have called you crazy. I'm like, what are you talking about? But he seemed to get it going recently. And, Zach, you mentioned the velocity. I mean, he's been a lot better, and I got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. Tonight felt like it just never. Once they went up 1-0, you were kind of just like, all right, just don't beat yourselves. Just get like you said, you didn't need to do anything special. Just don't beat yourselves. Don't give them back-to-back errors. Don't suddenly start handing them free outs, and you're going to win the game. And that's what they did. They just take care of business. Don't have to put anything, too special out there. Just don't beat yourself.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned earlier about if they called the game in the 5th inning,
Yeah.
it would have been the first 5-inning shutout with 10 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Well, about 10 years ago, there was a game against, I think it was in the 2014 season. There was a game against the Yankees, and we got out of the top of the 5th with, I don't know, 3-0 lead or something like that. And the last out in that 5th to make an official game, Markakis was out there, and there were like napkins flying around everywhere.
Oh.
And the wind was starting to come. Rain was about to pour. Markakis got the last out, and Kevin Gausman got a 5-inning shutout.
I love it.
That was awesome.
Memories.
And I'm telling you, if it wasn't for that rain delay, I think Morton would have tied or maybe even broken the Rockets record.
Wow.
He was on pace. He could have done it.
It was. I couldn't
He
believe
was
what I was
dealing. He
seeing.
was dealing.
I was sitting there and I was just like, it was almost like an out of body experience. With every strikeout, you're just like, Charlie, where was this?
Yeah,
like
right.
it was almost like I was offended. Like I was like, Charlie, you can still.
And I was looking on the mini scoreboard. I'm like, wait, 96? What?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad he's throwing well, and glad he's turning it around and everything. And the starters, it's just they win games like this, and you're thinking, wow, if only we had won 5 more games over the course of this season.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Yep, I agree. We could go back right now and look and find 5 close games or 5 inning, Dean's 1 inning where he gives up those runs in the 4th, and then he's lights out for the rest of the game. Like that 1 inning doesn't happen. Maybe they win a game here. Maybe they win a game there. And we're not talking about a team that's, what is it now, 12 games now still under 500?
Well, yeah.
12. We could be talking about a team that's 7 or 6 games under 500.
How y'all feeling about who's I think they got Ty Anderson tomorrow against Sagano.
Yeah, it's Anderson and then Kikuchi, I think, for them.
He's what?
That should be a
Anderson's
good game tomorrow.
Yeah, Anderson's the one lefty that the Orioles have kind of beaten up on this year, so maybe they can.
Yeah, and they've played Kikuchi quite a bit, so they also know him. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow. Me and my dad are gonna go again. We're gonna get the shirts and then the hats on Sunday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys. I'll probably talk to you all tomorrow.
All right, love it. We'll talk to you tomorrow, man. Appreciate
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Have a good night.
Yeah,
see you later.
Yeah,
we'll see you soon. Awesome. Love that. Yeah, giveaways the next 2 days. If you're
good
around,
giveaways too. Good giveaways too.
Can confirm the hats are incredible.
Yeah, I'm ready to get my hat and put it on and have it be a lot bigger than my head. So
it's good, Kevin. It's gonna go great. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Okay. Let's get into our next call on. We got Shane behind the scenes. Shane, what's up?
Shane,
what's going on, guys? What's going on? Live in Michigan now. I'm originally from York, PA, and a Towson University alumnus. So
let's go.
So carried my fandom to Michigan when I moved here. Been a tough season for sure, but still following my guys.
I love it.
Love it. Love it.
It's what we all do. It's been a tough season, but you can't stay away. At the end of the day, we still, as much as we might not like it, we show up all 162 to watch.
100%. I mean, there's so many times this year where I'm like, I'm done with this team. I'm over it. Let's move on. But it just keeps sucking me back in. Yeah. But I'll keep it short here. First time calling. I've been watching you guys all year. Love it,
man.
Love it.
Appreciate it.
But that O'Hearn home run, as soon as he swung the bat, I was like, this ball's out of here. Like, this is nuts.
The best.
Ryan O'Hearn's got some of that power on the team where he doesn't always bring it out, but when he gets a hold of one, you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah, know it.
No doubter. And then as much flack as Elias has gotten this year, which, I guess can be kind of deserved in some ways, Ramon Laureano is a steal. That dude has been legit, legit.
Incredible.
I mean, if things end up falling apart this year, which I don't know, the jury's still out on that, right? But if we end up having to trade somebody, if we move Mullins, I think we're set if you move Kowser over to center, and then you have Carlson and Laureano in right field, or O'Neal if he ever gets over his shoulder injury. Right. So And then the other thing I was thinking was if we're looking at trades as well, like look at like when Gary gets back, like I've been super impressed with what Maverick Hanley has brought to the team defensively.
Yeah.
Man, just let him cook as the backup for Adley and try to move on from Gary.
I agree. And,
totally
Gary has not shown me anything offensively this year. I mean, Gary Sanchez is always going to be, his whole career has been 2-week spurts of just incredible baseball followed by months of not good baseball. I would rather, if I'm going to have my catcher strike out 3 times a game, I'd rather him be incredible behind the dish than also be a liability behind the dish like Gary.
Brings something to the table. Yeah.
100%.
Like at least Hanley, I know one, he does not care if he has to go up and sacrifice bunt 4 times a game.
Yes.
Doesn't care. He will block every ball in the dirt. He will sit there, put his body on the line. He's going to do whatever it helps the team to win.
Yeah.
With Gary, it feels like there's that, it's the 3 strikeouts, but then it's also the 2 pass balls. It's the, he didn't not throwing anyone out. It just feels like I would rather have Hanley, guy that's been up. Hell, he was drafted a few rounds after Adley. So he's been up, in the system with these guys for all these years. I would love for him to be the backup.
Yeah, if you're not gonna get offense from either guy, I'd at least like the defense, and the staff likes throwing to him. And that's important too, where you establish chemistry and get a feel for these guys. And what is this? Is this the 4th straight time Morton's been caught by Hanley? Is that did I read that right? Something along those lines. So you establish that camaraderie. I mean, and Gary's been hurt, but he also hasn't really shown us anything. So not that Maverick is like this 300 power hitter or anything. But
defensively is mainly where I'm at. I feel like sometimes he's better defensively than Adley is. So it's like throw him out there, let him go with it. So that's kind of where I'm at. But other than that, that's all I had. Wanted to call in.
Awesome, man.
Late here, but I know Kevin, you're dealing with a headache, not feeling great. I get it, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and love that you called in, man. Hope to talk to you again soon here.
I'll be back.
Awesome.
All right, Shane. Have a great rest of the night, man. Peace out.
Have a great one. Kevin, I love
that's the best feeling, man.
I love when the community expands, the call-ins, more people call in, getting to talk to more of you guys. It gets me fired up. It's 12:53 a.m. and I'm fired up. Also, how do we just always find ways to have these insanely late show? Like even when it's not scheduled, we're at least once a month on a Friday we'll be on stream until.
I told the story last night of off the show of the Corbin stream.
Oh.
And how late that was, and we still this is an East Coast game. It's a nice old 7 o'clock start time.
7 o'clock start time.
1 a.m. about to wrap up the show.
It's like 10% of games these days go 3+ hours. So usually the latest we're starting is like 9:45, 9:30.
Yeah, it is, and you get the 6:35 start times, which are nice. I like those.
Yeah, we're usually on here at 9:25, 9:30. All of a sudden tonight we're starting.
This is literally you go to Colorado and you get that 9:30 start time. Yeah, that's usually when
what it felt like.
That's when you get these. Although, to be fair, we'd be starting off we started off those A's shows at 1:15 in the morning. So
that one A's show literally I think it was a 1:15 start time. The Corbin Burns one was tops of cake. We
started that at 3 a.m. Yeah,
I literally was in bed. I was half asleep, and I'll never forget. My phone buzzes. It buzzed 3 times, and I just see Rocco blowing up the group chat, and I'm like, "What is he doing?" And I was like, "Okay, Corbin Burns signs with." Arizona. I was like, awesome. I closed my eyes and I was like, Corbin Burns just signed with Arizona. You texted, you're like, we're going live. I responded, I was like, no. I was like, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going live if you can make a thumbnail. And I was it was one of those things where I've laid back in bed. And that feeling when you're going to have to do something.
Yes.
I was laying in bed, sitting there going, you got to be Corbin just signed. This isn't oh, yeah, I was like, Corbin just signed. I was like, we got it.
And I know that jump scare was your real reaction because of how you reacted to Luis F. Castillo. Of you just dropping everything.
That was Orioles have Luis Castillo.
I think he's still injured, dude.
Probably.
I don't even think he's pitched for them.
And I see someone asking for Jackson Holliday's last 30 at bats. I have no idea. So let me.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here. Jackson Holliday's last 30 at bats.
I'm gonna guess he's like 5 for 30.
Well, usually the way that I do it is not letting me do it. So let me go last.
Do I have to do some quick math for you right here?
No, I'm just doing last 8 games now because his
Over
last 8
8.
he's had 33. Okay. Let's go 7 games because that's going to get us to like what, 29. Okay, in his last 30 at bats, he's batting 267. His last 30 at bats, he's, I guess, 8 for 30.
Okay, that's not bad.
One RBI, 1 walk. That's his slump too.
I was somewhat.
That's his slump. The big thing I'm looking at is the 10 Ks. You don't like to see that creep back up to what it was last year when he was striking out almost every at bat, it felt like. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But batting 267. That's what? That's like his career batting average right now, isn't it?
I think it's around. It's not. I don't think it's far off.
Let me see. What is his career?
He's 231 career.
Well, I meant for the season. I don't know why.
For the season, he's 265.
All right, that's what. Yeah, I meant to say not him for his career. Yes, after last year, he is nowhere close.
I updated to 261 now after tonight, but yeah.
God damn it! Why did you lie to me?
I was looking at. I didn't have it updated. I didn't have it updated.
Just gaslighting stats.
Okay. I'm gonna have to come back with a vengeance to my Zach the Gaslighter tour.
Gonna have to.
Yeah. I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get you. Just wait.
Kevin, I can't wait.
When you least expect it.
I can't wait. But Kevin, you got anything else?
No, I still got a raging headache, so that's all I got.
And the Orioles got a victory. Yeah.
And you know what? This actually did help. I didn't feel my headache as much during the show, which was nice. So
look at that, everyone. Look at that.
See, is that Kevin and Zach react? Cure of illness and sickness and headaches.
Yeah.
Not actually.
Doctors approved. 9 out of 10 doctors.
We are not doctors.
I said not doctor approved.
Oh, okay.
Right. So 9 out of 10 doctors recommend Kevin and Zach react after an Orioles game.
Well, who's the one that doesn't?
I don't know, Kevin. Have you never seen that thing where they just say that?
Well, because it's true, right?
Yeah, exactly. So 9 out of 10 doctors.
Well, I want to know who the doctor who doesn't approve it is.
I'll send them your way.
Okay, all right. Please. I want to know.
It is Tommy Sugar Day. Let's go get him.
Yeah, and literally 1 a.m. It is.
Gonna win
right now.
Now. So that's gonna do it for this edition of Kevin and Zach React. A little shorter one, late night, weird game, 2 hour plus rain delays. But the Birds find a way to get it done. 2-0 win versus the Angels. Hey, you take them where you can get them. A win is a win. Doesn't matter who it's against. Keep winning. Opportunity to go for the, I was going to say series win tomorrow. Series win today. Technically 12 o'clock or 1 a.m. So series win today. We'll be back. 4 o'clock start. Yes.
True. All right.
Very
Dr.
true.
Pepper. That's a betrayal because I love Dr. Pepper. So
wow,
it's tragic for me. Thank you.
Hurt my soul.
Thank you.
We'll be back tomorrow after the game. 4 o'clock game. Orioles go for the series win. We'll see you back then for another edition of Kevin and Zach React. Bud Norris.
Mac Horvath.
Wow.
Rays legend.